Hi, my name's Adrian De La Court. I'm a lecturer on the MA programme in Creative and Cultural Entrepreneurship at Goldsmiths, University of London. I'm also director of the Synapse programme at Goldsmiths, which is our entrepreneurial thinking laboratory, which is designed to allow access to all students across all departments in Goldsmiths to introduce them to the concept of entrepreneurial thinking, and if they are then inspired to create an enterprise from any of the learning that they've had over the 3 years that they might have been with us at Goldsmiths, then Synapse is the place that they can come to further explore and develop that idea. I'm also a freelance consultant and advisor around creative industries outside of Goldsmiths. How many students have I worked with since I've been at Goldsmiths on both the MA programme and on the Synapse programme? I would guesstimate at well over 700 to 800 now easily in the last couple of years. In the years that I've been doing the work that I've been doing, then many thousands. The reason why I do this sort of work is something that I stumbled into, I guess, through my own creative practice many years ago. I started off as a working practitioner myself. I then went on to set up a number of my own performance and visual arts companies, and I learned a lot through doing and making mistakes, and from the process of doing and finding that there wasn't a lot of help for new creative businesses when I was starting out on my own a long time ago. Working through the experience and the knowledge that I had gained to advise and guide other young creatives, and through the process of doing that I ended up working with quite a number of major organisations in the UK as an advisor, so accidentally it's something that I kind of fell into and then quickly became one of only a couple of people with the sort of area of practice and expertise around the field of entrepreneurship and creative industries that there are in the UK. I see a lot of students setting up their businesses. Yes, that's what the MA programme that we deliver here at Goldsmiths is all about, and on average every year we get 50 plus students coming through our programme, which lasts 12 months. The majority of them leave us hopefully with a young creative industry already in the developing stages or operating, or in a position where they will be able to further develop their enterprise over the period of the next 6 months or so. That's just on our MA programme. Outside of that, I work independently through the Synapse programme with a number of students that I've met in Goldsmiths who have not been on our programme but have come to us because they have a creative enterprise idea, and we work with many of them again through an informal incubation system here. We've got quite a list on our books for students that have done that through the Synapse programme as well. Is it rewarding? Yes, it's really rewarding watching students setting a new idea. I mean, work that we are doing, we're specifically related to the creative industries, yes, and of course it's a very competitive field, it's a very challenging field, and it's really exciting seeing a young creative come to us with a brand new idea or a new way of doing something in their sector, and quite often it's a very abstract idea, it's an ambition, and the challenge and the reward is working with them to problem solve, turn an ambition into a working business, a business that will be resilient, a business that will be sustainable, a business that's doing new work around the sector that they're working in. That's really exciting. We're dealing with innovation, and we're dealing with people taking their craft and their practice further, and that's pushing boundaries, and that's really, really exciting, really rewarding. What can hold students back in furthering their ideas? I think generally there are a couple of major issues around tackling new businesses in the creative sector. One is that they will think that nobody's ever had this idea before. They will think that it's innovative, they will think that it's brand new. They will come to me with the idea and I'll go, yep, it's been done. So the problem is that they're not looking at their sector, they're not really understanding the field that they're aiming to work in, or the field that they're working in, because you have to know who's doing what out there. They really have to know who the competition is, they really have to look at who's in the forefront of their field of practice. It's about doing the research. So quite often that's the stumbling block. They spend a lot of time working on what they think is a fantastically original idea, and then they find that it falls flat on their face because it's already been done. Or the other problem is that they do have an amazing idea, it is fresh, it is exciting, it is new, and they spend so long working on the idea that somebody would beat them to it, because again, it's a problem in the creative industries. You have an idea and very, very soon after someone will have a very similar idea. Or they will find a way to do it more quickly, more efficiently, more cheaply. So again, it's about being on the pulse, it's about really knowing developments in your sector. For students to succeed in their field, I think they have to be, as I just said, they have to be connected with their industry. They have to know who's doing what the current trends are. They have to constantly be looking to their sector and doing the research. They need to be connected. But above and beyond that, they have to be a successful entrepreneur. I think you have to be resilient. You've got to be prepared to put yourself out there. It can be quite raw, sort of offering out ideas and asking for feedback on your ideas, which sometimes can be critical, but the critical reception of an idea means that it will push the idea forward and it will make it stronger, it will make it more audience, user, client friendly. So you have to have a tough skin to be an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to take risks. But also you have to look for opportunities as well. That's what a creative entrepreneur is, out there constantly looking for opportunities or making opportunities for themselves. What advice would I give? I would say be curious. I think that's one of the most important things about looking to be an entrepreneur or in the creative industries. Just be curious. Read as much as you can, research as much as you can, experiment as much as you can, make mistakes, but make the mistakes early enough to learn from them, with enough time to develop an idea, but constantly, I say, connecting with your industry to make sure that you're at the forefront. And I would also say, do your research, but make sure that there are people out there who want what you're doing. That's actually another stumbling block for people who are trying to set up creative industries, new enterprises. It's, again, they think it's an amazing idea when they spend a lot of time and a lot of money quite often developing a product or a service, and they will eventually find out that actually nobody wants that service. And that's a major stumbling block too, so make sure you do your market research, make sure you have a user base for your service, product. Above all, an entrepreneur has to be curious, has to be resilient, has to have fun. They have to be playful. Playful is really important, and one of the phrases that we deliver and repeat quite early on with our entrepreneurs is fail better, because you learn from failure, and that's Samuel Beckett. But yeah, fail and learn from your mistakes, but fail early. NACUE Create have been amazing. We've worked with NACUE Create for about 1.5 years now. They're just an inspirational program, I think, and Luca, who I've dealt with a lot from NACUE Create, obviously, has been in delivering talks and workshops to our students, and it's really useful to have, for our students, it's really useful for them to have somebody who's not an academic in Goldsmiths, who's not their tutor, who's not their personal tutor and lecturer. We have a great relationship, I have a great relationship with the students, but it's also good for them to be empowered to take control of something themselves. And with the knowledge and the experience that they've built up over the course and the programme, they can offer that knowledge to other students from across Goldsmiths, again, to connect and to share and to support their services. It's really empowering. I think it's a genuinely, we need it. It's something that we really do need at Goldsmiths. It's been invaluable. And the value of having somebody actually come in from outside of Goldsmiths is they give a fresh perspective. we're connected with the industry, but we're also, obviously, we're working with them on a daily basis. We run an academic program. It's really refreshing for them to have somebody who's coming from outside of Goldsmiths, who's also connected with all of the activities across other creative universities in the UK, who can talk about other students' experiences, who can talk about how other programs are being developed, but is also connected to the real living working sector out there as well, and having sort of that face-to-face communication, having that one-to-one moment of advice, listening to the latest development. That's been the real value of having NACUE Create actually come in and speak with our students.